Hello and welcome to Season 5, Episode 5 of Les Oderants. I am Dan and I am joined by just two Oderants this week, an unusual combination of purely Fliss and Ben. Say hello, Fliss and Ben.
Hello, Fliss.
Hello.
Stop with the pouty... yeah. I wonder...
Sad though.
You pouty face.
Sad face.
Well, I mean, it's a bit strange. So, folks, let me explain. Normally, we record this on a Sunday night, and in theory, that gives Ben a week to then edit it and release it the following Monday. But what usually happens is we end up chewing up that extra week of slack in the process, usually because one of us can't make it or anything, which leaves Ben sort of somewhat frantic, trying to sort out the podcast.
Dan whilst he's on holiday saying, Dan, I can't log in.
I can't log in, yeah, exactly. I'm on a motherfucking sun lounger. So we're having to box and cox a little bit, and as a result, which is a stupid expression. I've never used that expression. My dad used to use it, and I think that may be the first time I've ever said box and cox.
What does it mean?
I think just make do, deal with, adapt to the situation.
I'd like to know the etymology history, though.
I wouldn't.
Cox as in the man that rows the boat, or cox as in your willy?
Well, I don't think it would be Willy. I mean,
Box and Cox.
Are you looking
Victorian playwright John Maddison Morton wrote a one-act farce entitled Box and Cox, which became the basis of art's... Oh, it's very boring.
So what's the Box and Cox idiom? Usually to refer to an arrangement whereby people or things make use of same accommodation or facilities at different times according to strict arrangements.
Tops and tails.
Yeah, I guess, or kind of basically move things around and make things work in a schedule, I guess. That was how I sort of inferred.
Box and Cox was a farce written in 1847 by John Maddison Morton. The story concerns a landlord who lets two room lodgers, one who works at night and one who works during the day, and they share the rooms. So I can understand where the term Box and Cox would have come from if they're both using the room.
Well,
hilarity ensues.
Well, it always ensues, doesn't it? I mean, it never
sounds like most landlords these days, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely,
hilarious. It was then turned into a Gilbert and Sullivan opera.
Oh.
So it will have. Yeah, the language of this title of play / opera then will have entered into common parlance.
This is what you come to Les Oderants for, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. So if you have just joined Les Oderants, you've not been paying attention. We haven't wandered off into some weird etymology debate. We are still a perfume podcast in theory. So normally we record on a Sunday night, and we've had to fucking move things all around because I've been on holiday and then James couldn't do Sunday and blah blah. It's a nightmare. So we're currently recording part 1 on a Tuesday night, and there's only the three of us, and hopefully we'll be able to record the rest of it later this week with James, so maybe he'll be there for part 2. All will be revealed in part 2. We don't know. We haven't got a clue. I mean, for us...
God, I'm on the edge of my seat!
I know. The stress is killing me. Fun week in Perfumeville. I went on holiday. I had a lovely time. Thank you for asking. Yes, I've got a wonderful suntan. Yes, I look radiant. Thank you. What did I discover? I discovered... Stop fucking sniggering, woman.
No, I just realised that none of us asked you any of those questions. We are awful friends.
You are shit friends. Yeah. I mean, I describe you... When I describe the podcast to people, I just say, well, I do it with some perfume acquaintances. They're not really friends. I once got told off by my former boss for describing him and some of my former colleagues as former colleagues. He was like, we're friends, not former colleagues. I was like,
all right, former friends, fine.
You were like, I'll be the judge of that, mate.
Yeah, fuck you. You don't get to make that decision, mate.
Not since you fired me.
Yeah. Hang on, that took a weird turn. So anyway, I went on holiday and I went to Spain and I had a fantastic time. And I took a few perfumes that were interesting. I took the ginger eccentric molecules, which actually is really good and for some reason is incredibly durable. I don't know why. Like normally those things kind of just disappear without a trace, but I kept on waking up in the night and it's all I could smell was this bloody ginger.
Ginger in a perfume is tenacious though, isn't it?
Like, it really can be.
Hermes and Jardin Mediterranean or Après le Mousson, maybe it is.
It's Après le Mousson.
Après le Mousson. That's the ginger in that just absolutely stings your eyes for like a day. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It stings your eyes for a day. It's great. Yeah.
You've got to stop spraying on the forehead. That's the problem.
So I really
ginger for days.
I enjoyed that a lot. I took also the Guerlain Neroli Outre Noir. I cannot get enough of Guerlain's Nerolis, and I came back and I've just been wearing the Neroli Plain Soude. A load this week. They're just so good. It's ridiculous. I took Afternoon Swim, which was actually a bit of disappointment. Really sort of bland. I've just gone right off that Louis Vuitton one, Afternoon Swim. And I also took the same thing I take everywhere, which is my Creed Travel 50 ml travel spray of Royal Windsor, which was the sort of precursor to Royal Mayfair. And it's very classy. It smells of mothballs, like naphthalene, but in a good way. I love it. They're just superb. But I also discovered that I have a rather erotic fascination with two women's perfumes. Guerlain Angelique Noir. I'd just like to say, oh my God, about that one. And
Oh,
really? Yes. Are you reaching that one down off your shelf?
A sample.
I bet you.
Yeah, no, I haven't got a box. I know I've got a sample in my sample.
Rummaging around. I really like that. A sample just arrived with a bunch of other stuff, and I smelt it, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I like that. And I had to stop one of the waitresses and ask her what she was wearing, and she was wearing Prada Paradox, which I've never...
Is this why, what you were saying about it? You smelt it on someone else. I thought you were wearing it yourself.
No, God, no. No.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I put a tongue-in-cheek post on Facebook saying that any women wishing to lure me into bed would do well to drown themselves in Prada Paradox. I really liked it. It's a sort of... how would I describe it? Kind of vanillic, musky pear, but without that kind of... like the pear sometimes smells like that adhesive spray, that fixative... it's like a spray-on glue. It smells a bit like those pear sweets.
Repositioning spray.
Yeah, and it smells a bit like those... pear drops, the sweets.
Yes. Or nail varnish. That.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So pear can often be like that, quite kind of caustic. Caustic. Yeah, see, I'm a northerner. I've got to pronounce it caustic, innit?
I say caustic, but you
caustic. Wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say caustic. That's all wrong.
Caustic.
Yeah, caustic. That sounds weird. I'm going to find a better word than caustic, but yeah, sometimes it can have that kind of quite burny sensation, but not at all with Paradox. I found Paradox to be really very smooth and lovely and very, very charming. And maybe it was just because I was on holiday and feeling more relaxed and that. But yeah, really nice. Less stabby, yes, indeed.
We were talking about perfumes that were collaborated. That actually has 3 perfumers.
Well, hang on. When you say we were talking about it on our WhatsApp. Not on the podcast. So
yes. Yeah. This one's Antoine Massondieu, Nadège Le Galazantec, something, and Shamalama Maison Dieu. That's a real name, Shamalama Maison Dieu.
Was that two people called Maison
I think it might actually be called Shamala Maison Dieu. Yeah, Antoine Maison Dieu, and so it must be
okay.
5.
Right.
But yeah, three perfumers.
And that's Paradox, is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Paradox Intense, rather. Sorry, that one.
Oh, okay. I think it was just the original Paradox, but my guess is the flankers were all probably done by the same family of folks.
I've never heard of it. I don't think I've even seen it. The bottle's nice.
It's a slightly strange looking kind of. I don't even know what it is. It's like a right-angled candy.
It's the Prada plaque, isn't it? You see it on bags and jackets and things like that. There was that little black metal plaque,
of
like
course.
triangular plaque. Yeah.
Those were the main perfume sort of takeaways. But really, I enjoyed Prada Paradox. Fliss, you've just sprayed, I think, the Angelique Noir, have you?
I have, yeah. I've just been letting it just dissipate a little bit. It's really nice. It's very soft,
yes,
warm, vanilla, but it's not cloying.
Not at all. It's
little bit floral. It feels slightly chewy, but it's not rummy in that way.
I would describe it as quite and I use this word advisedly, but quite a sensual sort of vanilla, not a gourmand cakey sort of thing, but just like a really nice kind of almost human musky type vanilla. I really like it.
There's a real smoothness to it. I want to read what the notes are, because there's something else that I can't quite put my finger on, but it's very nice. I can see it's definitely not a gourmand, chewy, rummy thing at all.
No, quite. I like it. Quite. Well, and then this week's interesting perfume news. I got this mystery revealed. This is Amouage Timber. And this is the one that I sent you a few little drops of, and we all talked about a few weeks ago.
So it's a new Opus perfume.
It's a new Opus one called Timber, yeah. And it's really nice. I really like that. I've worn that a couple of days this week as well. It's not enormously sort of tenacious as I thought it might be, but it kind of isn't compared to. Well, I guess nothing is compared to a lot of the Biche work of late, but that's very nice. And then, what else have I got? So a bunch of things showed up.
Dan, that Angelique Noir has got a pear in the top note.
Oh, nice.
Again, so that pear is maybe pear is your thing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, pear is my sort of shortcut.
Spray yourself with Le Male, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big pear perfume, isn't it?
It is, but
I'm being slightly sarcastic there.
Yeah,
I think he wants his ladies to smell.
I don't want my lady to smell of Le Male. I mean, that would be fucking. Hello, darling. No. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but not my jam. So, Bal d'Afrique, Absolute du Parfum. I got that as well before I. Actually, I got that before I went on holiday and then didn't take it. And then, this is very good, by the way. They're doing Byredo are doing a whole retread of a lot of their classics in this Absolute format, which is like, I know everyone's doing it. They may as well just call it Elixir or whatever, but it's the same shit, right? Yeah,
Absolute Elixir Parfum.
Yeah, we've basically run out of ideas, so what we're going to do is we're going to make the same stuff, but just do it stronger.
But more expensive.
More expensive, yeah. I mean, it's the ultimate fucking bullshit, isn't it? And yet I fall for it every single time, because it is actually an improvement, which is lovely. And then today, fucking randomly, I got 3 bottles of YSL Miself, however you fucking Miself, because they removed the E from it, so it's just Miself.
That is a ridiculous name. I mean, there are, perfumes is not one. It's not an area known for its spectacular naming, is it? But that in particular,
Mizzle,
is a dreadful name.
Yeah, I think the working group could have done better on that. I find the removal of vowels or letters to be like, as an abbreviation. I find it a bit weird. And there was this guy I worked with who had, like you have an auto signature on your emails. So you just set it up once and it just sticks your name and job title at the bottom of every fucking email or whatever. And he had regards as part of his auto signature. So he didn't have to type out the word regards every time, except he'd contracted it. So it just said RGDS. And I was like, would it really have been that difficult to like just write the word regards out once? Yeah. That's all you have to do. No. Just urguds. You look baffled, Fliss.
But by making regards a declension, you're making it even more throwaway. There's even less of a regard. It's not even best wishes. Best.
You may as well just write
half my regards. You can have just the consonants of my regards.
Yeah, you may as well just have written "get fucked" at the end of your email.
Just write "fuck off."
Yeah. Get fucked.
Or fuck.
Yeah,
it's been really hard work writing to you, so I'm going to finish now. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Fuck you. One of my best friend has on his signature at the end it said, "Before printing this, please think of the environment," and this full stop. Was anything I said that important anyway? ?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Do you know I never had a signature, right? And I know I should, because I'm really bad, because I'll end up writing emails to companies and stuff and just writing like, yeah, nice one, cheers, or whatever at the end, right? And for ages,
nice one.
I actually wrote like, I ended up like having like a long communication with this guy. I was going to sign a contract with them, ended up having like a meeting on Zoom with them and stuff. And he at the end of the meeting, he said to me like, "Why do you always write cheers at the end?" He said, "Because isn't that a drinking thing?" Because they're Americans, obviously, right? And I was like, "No, cheers as in like, thanks."
Yeah, nice
and he was
thanks,
like, "Oh, right." And for like 6 months, I'd been like having this email communication with him, just writing, like finishing it up, just like cheers. And like he thought, I don't know what he thought it was.
He thought that's why you weren't.
I was a pisshead or something.
Signed that contract because he thought you were complete.
This guy's always at the fucking pub.
Every time he writes me an email, he has a drink.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is like I know this has nothing to do with perfume, but fuck it. The one that sort of bothered me a lot was a guy who would email and would write greets at the end, GREETZ, greets, like which I think is like shorthand for greetings.
But that should be at the start, surely.
Yeah, well, no.
I mean, you don't say hello as you wave goodbye to someone. Do you know?
Yeah, I guess in some cultures they do. But and my favourite ever was I bought a T-shirt from Stussy from the EU website, and it was the wrong size. So I emailed them, and they replied, "Sure, no problem. We change. Peace, Stussy crew." I love that. Peace. I might start writing peace on all my emails. Anyway, so the Mizzulf perfumes.
Yes.
We can just get sidetracked by anything, can't we? The Mizzulfs, I tried the original one in store, and I sort of hated it, really. It was just like very generic, and I sort of probably stand by that assessment. It's not quite as bad as I originally thought, but it's pretty generic, sort of fruity, bluey, fresh lavender thing. It's the sort of thing that would make Fliss kind of dry heave.
Kill someone.
Yeah. But they get increasingly better as the range progresses up the, I guess, the glamour chart. So the Le Parfum is substantially better than the EDP, and the L'Absolu is substantially better than the Le Parfum, to the point where L'Absolu was actually really rather nice. I wore that today. I sort of enjoyed it. So I surprised myself, and I'll have to do a review and be sort of, I guess, kind about at least one of them.
The Mizzulf.
The Mizzulf.
3 perfume. Mizzulf has got 3 perfumers, and one of them is your Antoine Maison-Dieu again.
What the fuck? What is this guy doing? Antoine
Maison-Dieu, Christopher Renaud, and Daniela Andrier.
Right, that's interesting.
Perfumers again. Yeah.
Daniela Andrier, is she a perfumer of some note? I've not heard her name before.
I haven't heard her name before.
So I have a hypothesis about the multi-perfumer perfumes, that maybe sometimes a newbie is co-credited with a perfume, almost as a sort of bring them through kind of thing. I don't know, I guess and maybe there's an analogy with music there.
She's done loads.
She did, well, fuck my theory then.
Envy for Men, Gucci Eau de Parfum.
Oh my God, she must have been around forever then.
Gucci Rush for Men, Angelique Noir.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Then she did some loads of stuff at Etat Libre d'Orange. She did tons of stuff for Bulgari. She's done like 12, 13, 14.
Bloody hell. Right, okay. So my theory is fucking dog shit, at least in this particular
I always heard, right, and I can't remember where I read this, and it might have been what's his name, the guy who wrote the perfume book that we hate, his wife. It might have been
Magoo.
Yeah, it might have been him that I read it. That said that when you have like multiple perfumers,
Turin,
that's it. That when you have multiple perfumes, it means that basically the project has fucked up at some point, and they've had to that the perfume has either left or been booted off the project, and it's been passed to someone else. But they have to both be credited because they both played a role in creation or whatever. I don't know how much truth there is in that, and it's probably not all perfumes, but it possibly is. Applicable to, I would have thought, at least some large, big kind of designer perfumes or something.
It doesn't sound completely beyond belief. I mean, but I'd love an industry insider to actually tell us about how that works. Okay. Anyway, that's all my perfume news. Ben, why don't you tell us some exciting perfume news from Chez Ben?
Did you, before we do that, you said you took Oté Rouge on holiday with you? But
I didn't. I didn't take Oté Rouge on holiday with me.
Right. Did you speak?
I did get it.
Last we spoke about it, you were buying it.
And I did buy it, and it's fucking lovely. It's
lovely.
Can I be quite honest? It's quite girly.
Yeah.
In my view, but I don't care. It's not like it's not so girly that I worry that people might. I don't think anyone's ever going to confuse me with a girl, but no, they're not. It's not so girly that I would be in any way sort of self-conscious about it, but it is quite a feminine perfume.
Has light red berries, doesn't it? That kind of gives that feminine edge, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love
feminine leaning.
Feminine leaning, yes. But I love the sort of the tea and the sort of figginess of it, and the fact that it's just. The fact that it's quite light as well means that it's perfectly good for going about doing stuff. So I wore it to go to the physio, because obviously you go to physio, they probably don't want a fucking 12 sprays of Ombre Nomad fucking tooting up their whole bloody room. So I thought it was perfect for stuff like that, where you just you want to smell like you have some sort of level of personal hygiene and pride in yourself, but you don't want to smell overbearing, and I thought it was perfect for that. Yeah, I really like that.
It reminds me a little bit of the Chanel Les Eaux lines, in that kind of the quality of it, in terms of they're light, they're airy, almost watercolory. You can put them on in the morning or off a hot day, and that by the evening it will have burnt off, and you can put on something else instead. And I think that all of them they're classy, and it's classy in that same way. Even though you're right, it is a bit feminine leaning. If I smelt it on a man, I wouldn't think twice, because it smells so classy.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't go, oh my God, you smell like my nan.
Like a girl.
You smell like a girl.
Not thinking, there's anything wrong with that at all, but I wouldn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, no, it was a good recommendation, Ben, the Oté Rouge. Thank you.
It was Lena, from the friend of the show.
Lena, friend of the show.
Yes, we have to blame Lena.
Name Lena, friend of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's actually quite a good segue as well, because I have been wearing this week. You sent us a little bit, but I've almost rinsed that. The Filtre Salon.
Oh yeah,
that you sent us. It's really good.
I think it's
really
great.
Fucking good.
I think
it stings my skin when I put it on.
It's quite a strong perfume.
Ooh.
I'm not sure why, but yeah, you get over it. Do you know what I mean? Push through, but I figure it's not doing anything too bad.
It's not fucking with your breathing, no sort of facial swelling or anything like that. I think you're fine.
I mean, I did check that I wasn't going red, like rashes on my skin or whatever. It just seems to be when I first spray it, it's like stings for like about 30 seconds and then it goes all right. But it smells fucking brilliant. I love it. Yeah, so I've been wearing that a lot.
Just on that, sometimes, particularly when I wear old school, like particularly vintagey perfumes, it almost doesn't matter where I spray them, but I get like a patch on my neck that is a bit sore. And and it's happened a few times, and I've worked out, I think, just from kind of correlation of events, that when I've worn like Derby or something, even though I try not to spray it there, I still get this weird sore patch. I don't know why the fuck that is. But,
that'll be the oak moss.
Probably.
It'll probably be something that's supposed to be limited.
Yeah.
I think I might have mentioned this story before, but I remember when I was making perfume and I was like, I really like cardamom. I was trying to make a cardamom coffee-based perfume, but I wanted it to be really strongly cardamom. And I looked up the IFRA guidelines, and it was like this much, and I was like, oh fuck that, let's double it, like let's just really go big cardamom, because I'm only wearing it for myself, like I can make what I want in my bedroom, right? And I made this perfume, I sprayed it, and it literally like felt like my skin was going to be ripping off my arm, and it was like I came up all red blotchy, like all over my face and everything, and I was like, oh, that's why it's like limited.
Yeah, if you say oak moss 3 times into the mirror, James will appear behind you saying some shit. I'm not here to fucking shill for IFRA. So sorry. It was the Filtre Salon you've been wearing.
Yeah, it's just so good, man. I love the fact that it's so the Bulgari teas I really like, and. Like tea fragrances generally I really like as well. There's another that the one Fliss that you bought, the Floraiku tea and ginger one.
Oh, Moon and Me. Oh no, I'm coming home.
No, I'm coming home. Yeah, that's another lovely tea fragrance. And I love tea fragrances, but there's something about that one. Yeah, but I think there's something about this one that I just love. How like it's such like English black tea. It's not like, so a lot of the teas have like sort of jasmine-y kind of vibes to them, or things like this, or they have these kind of like a little bit more exotic, whereas this has got something quite comforting, and it just smells like traditional black tea.
Smells like a brew, a breakfast brew.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it's great. I really like that about it. I think it's good, and obviously it has that kind of lemony, or not lemon, but the citrusy element to it as well, which then kind of makes you say, I think I mentioned it when we first smelt it, but a little bit kind of lady greyish, and I like that. It's great. It's really good. I like it a lot.
I was fairly confident you would like it, actually. I was also fairly confident James would not, but that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, I told you that I got a 200 ml bottle of that for
like 12 quid.
Yeah, it's stupid. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's really expensive now. I looked it up, and
I think it's 240 quid is the retail price, and they had it in TK Maxx at half price for £120. But Brandon basically stumbled on one that instead of labelling it as £120, they'd labelled it at £12. So he just bought it. He bought it, and then he said he didn't like it. So did I want it? And I was like, fucking right, I do. So yeah, that's a bargain of the century. That £12.
Yeah, that is a bargain.
That's nice. So it's nice when people look after each other, isn't it?
Absolutely. Did you wear anything else, Ben?
Yeah, loads actually. So another one that I know.
It's out of character.
You're not. I know. I kind of couldn't find anything that I really wanted to stick on, and I kept flipping as well between like genres and things. Like today I was wearing Un Jardin Monsieur Lee, which is the famously kumquat one. But Dan, I know
famous what one?
Kumquat.
I can't quite hear you.
Kumquat.
That's better.
You know you're
Imperator.
wrong, don't you, Fliss? You know you're just an absolute wrong.
Sorry, I'll just amuse myself.
Yes.
I still made you say it though.
I'm confused now.
Coming
what
from
else did I wear?
Ben.
I know.
Confused by kumquats.
Yes, and then I wore Imperator. Completely different.
Get some ideal hot weather perfume.
Which I think it is quite. I know you don't. I'm not a big fan of that, are you?
Well, I sort of am, but I kind of went off it because it's nice, but it smells to me very good. But it was quite one-dimensional, I thought. You know, what you spray is basically what you get. And I decided, and I sort of hate this expression, but I decided that there was just no kind of emotional resonance for me with it. It is quite a sterile kind of almost like carbon-y sort of perfume. Carbon, is that the right word? Yeah, I think it does have a sort of carbon-y, graphite-y sort of style to it that just was quite cold.
So like a photocopy. I always imagine things like like a photocopy perfume. You know, it's just black, white, cold,
exactly,
like contrasty. But I think it's quite a strange perfume in a way because like. I remember when I first smelt it, I almost felt it had this like sort of spicy, vanilla-y kind of thing to it, and that sort of stuck out to me. But now when I wear it, I feel like it's almost got like a barbershop-y kind of thing to it. Like it's got quite a masculine cologne sort of edge to it. Reminds me a little bit of Reflection. You know,
the Amouage
Reflection Man. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of that, or at least the Reflection. Is it the Reflection 46 or whatever it is? The X-Straight one that you sent us that time.
Well, there's a number after it. I can't remember what the bloody numbers are.
Yeah, I can't remember what number it is, but yeah, it's that one. It reminded me of that quite a lot. But I like it. I think it's good, and I do still really like it, which is weird because sometimes perfumes like that, I get them in my mind that they're good, and then I buy them and realise that actually I'm not that fussed. But I do like it. I think it was good. So yeah, I wore a bit of that. Ballade Sauvage, Christian Dior. I've been wearing that. It's like a really green fig, like Petitgrain fig, fresh. It's quite simple, really, but in that kind of Christian Dior, Maison Dior line sort of thing, it's got that. It smells quite fancy, despite the fact that actually it's quite a simple perfume. That's say really just sort of a figgy green fig, really, and that's about it. But it's good. So yeah, I've been wearing a bit of that, which has worked with the weather, I guess. But then on the complete flip side of that, I've been wearing Le Lion by Chanel, which is
in this heat.
And I love it. It's great, and it's worked really well.
You're a wild man.
Nice hot weather. I know. But it's great, and I still hate it, and I love it at the same time. Obviously it gets comparisons with Shalimar immediately, right? Because of that,
because of everything. Because the perfumer said one of my favourite perfumes is Shalimar, and I was completely inspired. That's why people say that.
But it has that like vanilla, and then I forget like the main note. It's like the most obvious thing. Use it labdanum. Use it to make leather and stuff. Yeah. That obviously that huge labdanum and vanilla thing, it obviously just going to straight away remind you of Shalimar, right? And I kind of hate Shalimar as well, but I kind of love them both. And I have this weird sort of love-hate thing with it where I smell it and I think, oh, but it's also really good. So I've been wearing wore Le Lion like 2 days in a row. which was good. What else? Gallivant London as well. I've spoke about that before. That's a nice perfume. That's like leather geranium kind of thing. And starkly, that's about it. But it has this really nice like watery element to it as well. I think in the note listing they've listed it as like cucumber, and I don't really think it smells like cucumber, but I will give them the fact that it is this kind of like light, watery, sort of green salady kind of thing, and it does make it slightly more interesting, and it does, I think, keep the perfume quite light for this kind of weather, even though it is like a sort of rosy geranium leather thing, which sounds like it could be quite heavy, but it's not. It works really well. It does keep it light because it has that kind of watery element, and then the leather is also, it's very like polished, sort of refined leather. It smells like a leather sofa rather than like a tannery kind of thing. So I think it's funny that it's called London, because I always think I've never smelled a London that smells like this. This is like Chelsea furniture store or something. It's not Camden. Do you know what I mean? But I really like it, because I think that Gallivant line, it's quite cheap and it's never really taken off. I think it's always kind of looked a bit kind of like down upon a little bit, maybe, despite the fact that the guy who made it is the old L'Artisan Parfumeur guy, right?
I never got on with that line. I really want to, because of its sort of L'Artisan heritage, but the L'Artisan line, he employed some really amazing perfumers, and I don't know if the Gallivant line he's still using other perfumers, or is he doing it himself? I don't know.
It's definitely other perfumers, but I don't know who they are.
No.
But I haven't smelt the more recent ones. I only smelt the first like sort of batch that they launched with, which was like Tokyo, London, stuff like that. When they started releasing more, to be honest, I know it's about the perfume and the smell, right? But the story has to capture you as well, doesn't it? And the Gallivant kind of hook was never really that interesting to me. Like, especially the way it's presented. Like, of course, you could, foreign cities are always going to be interesting, and you can tap into the romance of that. But Gallivant almost did the opposite of that, and instead of tapping into the romance of foreign cities, it was almost like, look at the travel map of a city, like where it had like that kind of grey map on the as all the branding, like just a greyed out Google map of a city, and it was like, okay.
I think also as well, it's kind of, it becomes quite hard once you start getting like doing loads of cities. People, especially people who've been there, if your association isn't of the city that it's called, it's really easy to go, and you don't dislike the perfume, but you don't want to spray on London if you don't think it smells like London in some ways. Just as a weird connection. Like I say, like that perfume called London, it's just ridiculous. It doesn't smell anything like any London I've ever smelled in my life. But on the flip side of that, the Tokyo one I think is fucking genius. And I think whoever actually did do that perfume, I think is an absolute genius, and clearly researched, I think. Oh, really?
Yeah. It's incredibly clever perfume.
Sorry, was that the Tokyo one? I mean, I could also said
Tokyo.
Is that the way it melds, kind of watery, kind of rosy, blossomy type thing? Is it cherry blossom?
No, so that Tokyo is it's like wasabi, and it smells like, I tell you what, it's incense and wasabi and stuff like that, but I tell you what it reminds me a lot of. L'eau de Issy pour homme de Nuit, I think it's the blue one, the dark blue bottle. Smells a lot like that, which is basically like a kind of incensey, sort of slightly blue perfume.
I just the one I'm thinking of was the Dior Rose. I forget what Kabuki.
Rose Kabuki. Yeah. I love that.
I know. Because you've talked about that before. Yeah,
Rose Kabuki, and Sakura is bad. Yeah, I've got that as well, and it's fucking wank.
Oh, really?
It's really fucking wank. It's probably one of the worst perfumes I've ever smelled, and the fact that it comes from that Dior line is an absolute like travesty. It's so bad.
What's so bad about it?
It's like a really incredibly intensely light musk and peony. And that's it. And so immediately it's not on my sort of radar anyway, because it's very like almost juvenile, like pink floral. But then on top of that, it just like piles on this cloudy musk, which it sounds like it could be quite good, but it's so lightweight that it's almost not there.
It's pointless.
And
for that price as well, in that big bottle.
That is exactly what you feel like when you spray it, is like, that was pointless. Like, get the energy I expended collecting this from the shelf, spraying it on my arm, and then placing it back. It was utterly wasted.
It's for your 2 sprays on your left wrist.
Exactly, yeah. It's fucking piss poor.
Heartbreaking.
I really hate it. But yeah, the Gallivant Tokyo one is genius. It's the way it mashes these kind of like ultra modern elements with like that kind of blue kind of vibe, and then this wasabi kind of thing on top of it, which is quite strange and weird. And then it sort of mixes it with this incense. Is so incredibly well done. If they are actually, because it could be me reading into it as well, right? Because obviously we bring our own kind of biases, but knowing a bit about Tokyo, like the way they have that, and this huge element of Japanese culture of mixing like modern with old, and because the way the building regulations work and the way that Tokyo works, like the architecture of Tokyo is like, it'll have this ultra modern apartment complex right next to a shrine that's like 1,000 years old, and no one bats an eyelid at that. They actually call it like there's a name for this element of like mixing old with new and placing them together, like the juxtaposition and stuff. And I think the perfume's really well done. If I'm not reading into it, and which I could be, the perfume could have just been like Tokyo, bit of incense, bit of blue, we'll chuck that out. But I think they're probably tapping into that idea of like modern with old and stuff. So I think that's great. But yeah, Gallivant as a general rule, that doesn't do anything for me as a brand. But the perfumes, I think London is great. So I was wearing quite a lot of that. Anyway, I think I'm probably waffling on and boring people to tears. So Fliss, what did you wear?
Wow, that's normally my job to segue us, but I think
I'm boring myself. Like when you heard too much of my voice.
No, you were so quick to get out of there. I didn't even get a chance to come in and ask any questions. I was fascinated then. I was actually going to ask you to rank your Dior Privé bottles, actually, because I wasn't aware that Sakura was such an unfavourite.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I think generally they're all great. I love Eau Noir, and then like Ballade Sauvage, like I say, I was wearing. I think that's great. And some of the other ones that I think people sort of shit on, the vanilla one, Vanilla Diorama. I think that's great. I'd probably put it like mid tier, but it's still, I think, a good perfume. But then I think they fall off a cliff so hard. I don't think there's any that are like, they're all right. It's not really my thing. Like I've never really smelt that with the Dior Privés. I always think like they're either like good to decent or just utter dross, and I think Sakura like slips into that hard, like that. And Rouge Trafalgar, because I like the bottle. It's a big 250ml bottle of pink juice. So I can't bring myself to sell it. That, and the fact that when I opened it as well, I used a knife to cut the it's someone, because I bought it secondhand, obviously, and because you never pay retail, right?
Never pay retail.
And it was wrapped in bubble wrap, and I used the knife to cut it off, and it cut straight across the label. So the label's got this massive like knife like slash across it. So people aren't probably going to want to buy it anyway. But like I say, it's like they're my precious. I can't sell it. It's a big bottle of pink juice that just can't be sold. And you never know, I might like it one day.
It doesn't sound like it, Ben.
Right, it's awful.
I think that's quite an optimistic take, but good for you. Good for you. Okay, all right. Well, Fliss, you are up next. What can you tell us about your world of perfume?
A couple of weeks ago, my friend Ksenia, who is Love is a Scent on Insta, sent me a mystery pack of 10 perfumes, and I have been steadily working my way through them. And she sent them all to me because she wanted me to smell things that she thought I had never smelt, or I probably wouldn't know, but she thought they were all really good. And so there was... it was delicious mystery package, because it just meant that I knew I was going to like everything because it was from Ksenia, but then it was just then us having conversations around what she'd sent me. And one of the things that she sent me that really blew my mind was Musk Tonkin by Parfum d'Empire. And it's it's when you look it up on Fragrantica, I think it's just musk. But for me, it's so much more complicated than that, and there's this creamy green, floral, almost chypre feel to it. It's very vintage smelling, and there's something polleny and quite thick in it. But then there's also quite green and early summer, like a warm skin. And then there's just the edges of animalics in it. And some people, if you look it up on Fragrantica, some people are like, "Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's like a vintage chypre," and other people are like, "This is the worst musk I've ever smelled. It just smells of poo and bumholes."
I always find that though with musk, because it's so divisive. Like it seems to be so personal. Like if you're going to take to it or not.
Sorry,
and I can't smell any of the animalics really at all. Just the merest hint.
So sorry. It doesn't smell like poo and bumhole to you. Is that what you just said?
It doesn't smell. It doesn't smell like animalic to me at all.
Right.
Or very, very slightly in comparison to other things I own.
And when she sent you were these all kind of unlabelled, and you just had to try it, and then she'd tell you what they are?
Yeah. So she sent me a little packet of blank. Little testing vials labelled 1 to 10, and I just worked my way through them, and then said to her, "Oh, number 1, blah blah. I think it's this, and this. I get this smell. And we just talked about how I experienced it before she told me what it was. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
it's really fun. I did. You know Claire Sprigman, Spriggers. Yeah, I did a video. Yeah, I did a video with her once where we sent 5 to each other. Back when I used to do YouTube, obviously, and it was so much fun. Like, you just
I hate it, and I'll tell you, I don't hate it. I mean, I enjoyed doing it, but. Especially doing this podcast with you, right? With you guys, I get total kind of imposter syndrome where, you know, clearly I've smelt loads of perfumes and I can talk a little bit about perfumes, but I feel like I'm a bit of a fraud, right? And I think a lot of people feel that way.
I think we probably all think that, because I feel exactly the same.
Oh, I feel the same too. But
good. But like when I had to blind read the Amouage one, I was like, oh god, I better fuck this up, and like everyone's going to see what a complete twat I am. And actually, I got it reasonably spot on. I'm quite happy with my assessment of it. Sometimes, you know, I do like the buzz of nailing it, but I hate it. The other thing I can't do is I find it very difficult to quickly blind read something. So I tend to have to kind of really inhabit it for like several hours to sort of get a vibe of what's going on. Like I feel like there are people out there who can blind read a fragrance in like 30 seconds. Have you ever seen an Aaron Terence Hughes video where he can tell you, you know, how many hours longevity you're going to get from it just by smelling it in the first 30 seconds? I mean, how can we compete? How can we compete with talent like that?
Well, we don't, do we?
No, because it's bullshit. But
I would like to remind everyone of the time that Aaron Terence Hughes had to stand on camera and read out a letter saying that a certain perfume did have.
I love that. Fragrance du boss. Fragrance du bois. But the whole blind reading thing, it's fun, but there's always like this kind of sense in the background that, oh god, I'm going to come unstuck. Everyone's going to see how fucking little I know. But yeah, good. What other did you pick out from that then? Musk Tonkin. I've never tried it.
Talking about falling flat on your arse or not getting something, the next one that I tried that I really liked, which was from in Ksenia's blind read package, was La Panthère Elixir.
It's Cartier.
It's Cartier. So it's new. It was launched last year, 2024. And I've been wanting to smell it for ages. And to me, it smelt very, almost like warm Nivea cream, you know, that very cream feel. it smelled slightly more animalic than the other Cartier Panthères to me, but it was so creamy and smooth, like a cold cream, and it sort of felt rosy and musky and slightly spicy at the top, just like a very, very, very expensive Nivea soap or Nivea cream or whatever, but I really, really liked it. And then in the base, there was a bit of kind of like almost patchouli feel to it, and it smelled incredibly comforting, and I really liked it. It wasn't sexy in any way, but just very feminine and gentle and all of that stuff. And then I looked at the notes, and Ksenia told me, she said, well, it's all just jasmine and gardenia. And it sort of floored me, because it's meant to be this big jasmine bomb. I didn't get any jasmine from it at all. And even when I knew that there was jasmine in there, and then I smelt it again, it didn't smell to me anything like my sort of like golden jasmine favourites, like Jasmine Rouge by Tom Ford or À la Nuit by Serge Lutens. Had none of that in it at all. It was really interesting. It was really interesting to get those notes so horrifically wrong. And I don't know if I'd have read the notes before I sprayed it, if I'd have got it right.
But did you like it?
I did really like it. It's hard to say if I need it. I think the trouble with that Cartier Panther line is that I've got the old vintage one with the two panthers climbing up the side.
Nice.
And that smells, really, really...
Well, no, I mean, nice look, but I don't know how it smells. I don't think I've ever actually tried it.
It smells like an old lady going to the opera, basically.
Nice.
Slightly floral old lady going to the opera. And to me, that is what Panther smells like.
It's like mid-80s, that, isn't it? That one. It's definitely totally. Like 80s lady perfume. It was Marillas that made it.
Was it?
I think it might be.
Bertie?
I think so. To be honest, I could be wrong, so I should probably check that before
surprise me.
Just fire out
the
there.
New ones,
it's a fact. It's a fact, yeah.
It's a fact now, if we've said it. The new ones I really want to like, because I love the bottles. I love that Panther bottle. And I can't find any that I like. Like the Eau de Toilette is just a bit light and floral. It doesn't do it for me, doesn't move me. The parfum just smells a little bit of that milky baby sick. There's just a sort of cloying note on the top, and I want to love it. I want to love the idea of loving Cartier La Panthère, and I don't. And so for this one, I did really, really like it. Don't know if I need it or if I just really want to like it that much, so I can definitely get myself a little Panther bottle.
It's like the Gucci Alchemist Garden collection that you were essentially saying the other day about the iris one, wasn't it, that you were looking at, because you really want the bottle.
But the bottles.
Yeah, they are good. They're so great. The white ones as well, like the iris one with like that white and sort of purple bottle. It's amazing.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, I
cannot justify for me to purchase a perfume that just for the bottle. I can't justify it. I've done it once. I've got one. And
what was that?
That was Imperial Emerald by Merchant of Venice. The bottle is almost like a glazed peacock feathers, and I'm obsessed with peacocks. But the perfume inside has got a really horrible woody amber base, and I just give it away to people. I just wanted the bottle. I can't do that again. That was ridiculous.
Here, take this perfume. I just want the bottle.
Literally.
I to be honest, I feel a little bit like that with the Kenzo one that I lusted after forever, the unidentified fragrance object. So, I mean, the perfume I could give a fuck about, but it's the bottle. It's not even glass, so it's not really a bottle. It's I don't know what it is. The container, the vessel. It's a tub. Yeah, it's just a tub.
It's the tub. It's just a tub.
Very good. Very good.
We should start calling them tubs, and because my husband laughs at me all the time when I call it juice. If I ever call it juice or frag, he's like, "Oh, yeah, slang." We should just start calling bottles the tubs.
The tubs. Yeah. Oh, this Bulgari Haute Rouge has got a lovely tub.
Yeah. Heard it here first, guys.
That's going to be a thing now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It all started. I mean, it first entered sort of standard fragcom parlance, in 2025 when the lesos started referring to them all as tubs. Yeah, good. What else was on the list? This sounds like quite a good list.
It was a great list. And then the other thing which I really, really liked is she sent me the new Declaration Eau de Parfum. So it's another Cartier. Oh.
Is it similar to the original? Because the original, that is a spicy rose, right? Like woody rose, spicy woody rose.
It's very spicy. This for me doesn't lean as masculine as the original. It's very, very spicy. Huge cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, and then tea. But it's so smooth and warm. The opening reminds me of there's a discontinued Penhaligon's called Zizonia, and it really reminds me of that. And I don't know if I like it because I loved Zizonia so much and I haven't been able to get hold of it, or at least not the old bottles anyway. But yeah, I put it on and I was like, this is really nice. And it's meant to be for men. Bullshit. I think it's lovely. And there's a creaminess to it and there's a depth to it that I really like. And it felt a little bit Christmassy or maybe a little bit autumny, but you could get away with it on cooler days in the summer. But yeah, I am going to be popping a search in eBay and keeping my eyes peeled on the groups. But because it's only came out this year, I don't think that I'm going to have to wait a little bit, I think, before anybody... Oh, no, it wasn't this year. It was last year, 2024. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to wait until somebody gets bored of it. But yeah...
I used to love the original Declaration. That was like one of my earlier 2000s kind of wears that I would wear a lot.
Yeah.
That and Terre d'Hermès. I wore that all throughout the early 2000s.
Terre d'Hermès. Terre d'Hermès may or may not appear in one of my lists in part 2 by the time we get to it.
I had to feeling that, Ted Hem.
I put it on mine and I scrubbed it for something else.
Oh, really?
But, yeah.
Now I need to know what you scrubbed it for, but we'll just have to wait to find out. Okay, what else, Fliss? What else would you like to talk about?
Well, I mean, those were my big 3 that I really was like, because I have spoken about some of them in the previous recording, the last episode I did as well. Those were the 3 that I would really stuck out for me as like, wow. It's really nice to smell things that make you go, wow. Because sometimes I feel as if I am so saturated with samples on my desk, so saturated with new things, that because I know the name or because I know the brand, I think that does affect how I perceive things. And smelling things blind means you have to sit with it a bit more. That was interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that is fair, and I think you can try and tell yourself that you are super objective, but I think the reality is that any perfume, if you know the brand, if you know the name of it, if you know whether it's marketed as masculine or feminine, if you know the notes and stuff, all of this is going to colour your perception. So to truly try a perfume completely blind with no kind of preconceptions about what the brand stands for or how they usually do things and all that kind of jazz, I think it's genuinely a good thing. Because even when even when I sort of got sent that Amouage thing, it's like, well, I do know it's an Amouage. I know it's going to have incense in it, so I have some preconceptions already straight off the bat. So that might be a fun thing to do for another episode. Actually, it's just some total. We did do some blind ones, didn't we?
We did do some mystery samples, didn't we? Yeah. We did it as in terms of cheap or expensive as well.
Yes. And I won't be volunteering any further Soma perfumes for your consumption. Good. Okay. Is there any exciting news in the perfume world? I'm not sure there is, actually.
I'm feeling very out of touch. I've been trying to not be looking too much at all of that stuff because it's the summer holidays and I'm trying to be present with the kids.
Well done, you.
Mummy, put your phone down. What are you looking at? Perfume. Oh, Mum. Yeah, all of that stuff.
Sorry, I just had to yell at my daughter, who's been incredibly noisy and refusing to respect the fact that Daddy's recording a podcast. Fucking shitheads. Shithead children. Yeah.
Don't look like shitheads. That picture of
the pair of them
with the red dress. No, there was one with the red dress and the nails and a little bag. And she just looked like she was
Kate.
a supermodel waiting. Yeah.
No, she's an arsehole. Yes. Yeah. No, she's. I don't know. They're at that age. Well, they're always at that age, aren't they? Yeah. No, they couldn't be different and more different. My kids. But the only similarity they have is that they're both extremely loud and expensive. Those are the main things they have in common. Yeah, on holiday, my 15-year-old discovered that she could get away with ordering strawberry daiquiris, and in fact was sitting by the pool like 11 a.m. sipping strawberry daiquiris. No. I was like, mate, you need to fucking stop doing that.
How did she manage that?
Oh, just by being a bolshy little twat and saying, I'd like a strawberry daiquiri, please, frozen. And they just scurry off and do it.
Bless her.
Yeah, no, don't bless her.
That's
so okay. Well, look, let's abandon part one as a completely bad do. I mean, it's been strange without James. This is the first time I think we've ever recorded anything without James, isn't it?
Well, no, he wasn't here on his stag do, but then he made
that's right.
Appearance.
He appeared.
Yeah. It felt like he did turn up, didn't he?
Yeah. Well,
for quite some time.
Maybe he'll turn up in part two. Who knows? I mean, we, the dear listener, you get to find out in about 5 minutes. We have to wait several days to find out. So yeah, hopefully he will. It has been slightly odd without the full 14, or at least some sort of passing mention of it. So I mention it in order to make sure it's included. But yeah, let's go grab. Well, it's going to be more than grab a brew. Let's go and have a few days doing various other things, and then come back and record part two in a few days. But you, dear listener, can just grab a brew, and we'll be back in a few minutes on Les Oderants. Stick with us.
Not a bearded man asking me what distortion pedal I'm using. For fuck's sake.
Okay. Hello and welcome back to Les Oderants. This is, well, I don't know. I don't even know what we're doing. It's hard to know because we recorded several days ago and we were optimistic that James would make an appearance, but unfortunately James has been required to do some other stuff that is not podcasting, and so he's not with us this evening. And we can't remember what we covered in part one, but I'm sure Ben will edit it to be extremely seamless, and it will all make total sense. But in the intermission there, like the several days in between, roughly a week between part one and part two, we discussed a few things, including Ben's fascination with bearded men who want to know what foot pedal he was using at his gigs.
Always. Yeah. Yeah, always. Just what you want.
If you want to continue that conversation, then my husband is
always available for foot pedals.
He has about 25 different pedals, and they all sound the same.
So you know what really got him going though was when I said, "Oh, well, that one's actually one that I made myself."
Oh my god!
I called it.
John needs to meet you now.
I called it the Scuzzfucker 3000. and I painted it bright yellow and wrote Skullfucker 3000 on the front.
You made your own guitar pedals. This comes as exactly no surprise to me at all, Ben. I mean, honestly, if I were to pick one... No, actually, that's not fair. Because if I had to pick one of the podcast team who made their own pedals, I would struggle to know whether to guess you or James.
You or James, yeah.
It definitely wasn't me, and it definitely wasn't Fliss. I think we can all agree. Right, anyway, so notwithstanding that, the other thing that happened was I just watched United get, frankly, quite unfairly beaten by Arsenal. A goalkeeping error led to us losing all 3 points at home on the first day of the season. And you would think that this would make me miserable, but in fact, I am not, because we played much better. So I am taking some
You lost, but you lost better than last year.
Well, we lost.
It sounds like us.
It's not like this was the most important game. And frankly, Arsenal will be right up there in second place at the end of the season, like they always are, right? So, they are arguably going to do much better than us in the league. And as
a Manchester United fan, you're used to losing at this point.
Yeah, there's that. You fucking, mate, we're going to... You're pushing it now.
Look, did you watch the Brighton game?
I didn't watch the Brighton game.
Because if you did, then you know that I've got no room to speak. 1-0 up the entire game, 96th minute, last kick of the ball, Fulham scored, equalised 1-1.
Oh, see...
Kicked off.
You should have told us, believer. Anyway, right, so this is not the football podcast. Fliss looks like she's going to stab me in the head.
Just my heart bleeds for both of you.
Yes,
it really does.
I'm quite sure about this. So, anyway, this week's part 2, we are playing a game called the Rory Harrison game. And this is after a guy called, drumroll please, Rory Harrison. I know.
See what you've done
clever,
there.
Isn't it? It's real clever shit. Rory is a friend of the show and enthusiastic perfumista. And Rory posted a fantastic discussion on Facebook a couple of weeks ago about naming your top perfume by decade. And it was going back all the way to like the 1920s, and it was a fascinating discussion. Because we are contrary, and because we couldn't be asked researching that far back, we decided to...
Well, I did.
Okay. Because we are contrary, because Ben and I are contrary and couldn't be asked researching that far back... yes, it's going to be one of those evenings, isn't it? Because we couldn't be bothered, we are going to up the number of perfumes. So you're allowed 2, but we're only going to go back as far as the 80s. So get in your DeLorean. Have you just put your hand up? Did you literally just put your fucking... You know that this is not a visual medium for people, don't you?
I'll do a little video, okay. It's fine. Can I just clarify that when we had the brief, it wasn't your favourite from each decade. It was you're going to a desert island, but you can only pick one from each decade, and that's really important to my list.
Boring.
It's less important to my list.
Yeah,
it's really important.
Yeah.
To my
okay.
list.
So stop being right. You can put your hand down now, Fliss.
No, because I'm still waiting for clarification.
Why is it important? Have you got bottles that are shaped like certain things, so if you can use one as a hook shot or something?
Because it was to
get yourself over the canyon.
What the fuck? Practical bottles.
No,
because
it was you're on a desert island, and one from each decade. I then decided I reverse engineered it so that I had a collection, a coherent collection, as opposed to just my favourite from each decade. Right. So mine is a coherent collection: one big chypre, one big floral, one big rose, one musk, one all of that kind of stuff. So it's I've created a collection as opposed to my favourite from.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, mine's sort of like that.
You don't give a fuck, do you?
No, I do. I care quite a lot, actually. I care a great deal because we decided to call the episode something like Desert Island Decades, didn't we? And it's exactly that. You are right, and I too have done it as a sort of collection. They don't have to be the best perfume or indeed your favourite perfume. It has to be a curated sort of time capsule, if you like, that you're taking to your desert island. Are you happy with that?
Oh, good. I've done it right. I've done it right.
Goody. Fucking swat. Honestly. Fucking ridiculous.
Look, if I don't get an A star, I just don't join in, okay?
Right. Okay. I mean, that is sort of depressing. Not that this is Dan's personal sort of family update podcast, but just in terms of grades and such, my eldest got her A-level results this week, and she didn't quite get the grades she wanted, but they were sufficient for her to get into her university of choice to study politics and human rights. And I have a hard left daughter who is all about the human rights, which is kind of sweet.
I love this degree choice. I really love it. I was just like, no, but I think that's an amazing choice of degree, particularly at the moment. I think she's really good.
And because she has, she's autistic as well. Not sort of not what you call profoundly autistic, but she's definitely, or she is autistic, and she has this thing where if you disagree with her, she will fucking steamroller you, and she will just not stop. It's like, no, you're wrong. Here's why you're wrong, and then just fact.
And she will fact. It's like one of the traits of autism or neurodivergence as a whole is a profound sense of the right or wrong and a profound sense of justice.
And that's exactly her.
What's right and what's wrong.
She's all about the justice. And
so what you're saying is we need to go to a SEND school and get them all and put them in government rather than SEND school.
Yeah, actually, that would probably make a lot of sense.
That would be really smart.
Yeah, good. I mean, that is it. That's why people tune in to hear fucking wisdom like that, Ben. Well done.
Fix the world.
Fix the world. There you go. Right. So anyway, I wanted to share that because I'm very proud. So, right, let's do decades. Let's do decades. Get in your motherfucking DeLorean, okay? And we're going way back. We're going all the way back to the 80s. And I don't know, culturally, what was going on in the 80s?
Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen, of course. Thatcherism. We had
miners' strikes,
Scargill. We had some
poll tax.
The poll tax. Do you know what? Someone actually. So my dad was an economist, and he used to give his opinions on economic sort of stuff on the radio. He was like a sort of talking head, and somebody spray painted. Like our car was parked on sort of sideways on the road, so outside the house. You could see the side of the car. Opened the sort of curtains one morning and someone spray painted "fuck the poll tax" on my dad's car. It's like, why would you have done this? It's ridiculous, people. Anyway, poll tax, that was going on, and there was a lot of moustaches, and moustaches are now back. People are walking around wearing them without any sense of irony at all. Miami Vice, all that shit. So this is this amazing decade of complete
yuppies.
There was a lot of big frags as well, like frags.
Yeah, man. So pick your desert island. Pick your desert island perfumes from the 80s. Fliss, you're up first because you swatted out on all of this.
We've got two from each, right?
You can have as many as you want, really, Ben. I mean, no.
Oh my God!
No, you can't. Pack it in.
Yeah. Ben can have as many as he wants because when I say that, I know he will go. Oh well, I'll two. Maybe I'll have three. If I say that to you, Fliss, you'll be like, ooh, 50, 100. No, I've got 200 from the 80s.
Let me just upload my spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. The rules are different for you, Fliss.
So true. Okay, that's fine. I'll still get an A.
Hang on.
Care.
Who's giving out the grades here? Naturally, you will then. Go ahead, Fliss. Give us your two.
Okay, so from the 80s, I went for the two most classic things I love in it, as it kind of cheated, basically. So basically I wanted something Shalimar-esque, and I couldn't get it in the decades that we were given. However, Habit Rouge Guerlain EDT has a real Shalimar feel, and so I picked that, Habit Rouge EDT, and that's my Shalimar cheat one. And then also Chanel No. 5 released their Eau de Parfum in 1986, and that is also my Chanel No. 5 cheat. So my 80s were basically my cheat. And all the other things that I looked at, which were kind of like big, fruity, like Paris YSL by Sophia Grossman. Sophia Grossman had a great year. She did Calyx, Panther Cartier, Alberto Morillas. Fahrenheit was a close one. But in the end, I just went for my two classic base bricks for my collection as Habit Rouge EDT and Chanel No. 5.
Nice.
I
have to say, I nearly did Abbey Rouge as well. I was like, but then one of the reasons I didn't was I thought, Dan and James would pick that, so I just didn't. But
yeah, okay. I mean, what were you doing in the 80s, Fliss? Were you even born then? You must have been quite a youngster.
I was very much born. I was still at school, but I was very much born. And I was basically putting my hand up at the front of class.
My, how things have changed.
My, how things have changed. You know, sometimes there's sort of basic, early ways of being very hard to change. And so, yes, no, I haven't changed.
There's a bank. There's an advert for a bank on TV at the moment, and where. It's something to do with how your money habits are sort of hard coded when you're like by the time you're 7 years old. So they have all these kind of 7-year-old kids kind of acting as adults, like talking about splitting the bill at the restaurant and stuff. And
and they get kids to do the act.
And I see this, and I just think of you, Fliss, like just. Like hard-coded in, like, I'm going to be the SWAT. I'm going to be the SWAT always. Yes, by 7 I was the SWAT, and like, you know, later, 40 years later, I'm still doing it.
I had a little pocketbook where I used to put my pocket money in and pocket money out, and I had a
balance sheet
that I was a balance sheet that I was running. By the time I was getting pocket money, and I would do
such a fucking nerd
from my mum and my auntie. I know.
I'm pretty sure, like, that is, I mean, I think that puts you in like some elite sort of league of nerds. Dickheads. Well, I mean, I like the idea of having pocket money in, pocket money out. I think that's superb. I mean, it is, by the way, the diametric opposite of my youngest daughter, who for some reason can't get the banking app to work on her phone. So she always texts me and says how much money is on my account. And I say, well, you got £3.54 in your account. And then like 30 seconds later, there'll be a transaction for £3.51 at like at the corner shop or something. Like, oh, you fucking knob. Anyway, okay. Well, those sound like good choices. Ben, what did you have?
They're solid, aren't they, from Fliss?
Solid.
I would say mine are slightly less solid, although I picked Guerlain Samsara and the Body Shop White Musk.
Ooh, great.
Also on my list.
That's great, and it still smells great. You know, every time I go in the body shop, not that I spend a lot of time in there, but I do spray the White Musk. It still smells fabulous.
Absolutely, and that was so. My list, I think, is some of the ones are like I picked because they're rock solid good ones, like Guerlain Samsara. I picked that because I'm like, right, I need like a solid, spicy kind of like Guerlain-y type thing in there. But I picked some other things like the Body Shop White Musk, just purely because if I'm going to a desert island, I want some nostalgic kind of homely smells. And so I've got a few of them on my list, and the Body Shop is definitely the first one that I picked for that. And I get the same every time I walk past the Body Shop. You smell it coming out the door, and you're just like, oh, that's nice. I don't own it actually anymore, and I don't think I'd even go out of my way to buy it. But
you don't need it.
No, exactly.
You don't need it because you know what it smells like. There are some things you just know what they smell like. You don't need them in your collection.
Yeah, it reminds me of.
And would it be an actual spray? Or would it be the one with the little plastic dabber? You know, the little pokey.
I reckon I'd get the spray just because I hate dabbers. But I mean, I do remember like the they used to sell little pots as well of a kind of waxy, like hard perfume as well. And this is even in the 80s, which is weird but I used to love it. I used to sort of hate going in there weirdly, because I'd go in there with my mum and my sister and just be like, Body Shop,
we're going to be here for hours.
Go get some Lego or something. But now it's weirdly changes, like a lot of like those childhood memories. They change over the years, don't they? And you sort of colour them your own way. And now I remember them quite fondly as like, all the smells and kind of hanging around with my, being a kid. But I picked those two. Guerlain Samsara, I think, speaks for itself. Really, it's just a spicy classic, isn't it? Like it's. I wanted something a bit like Fliss, where I looked straight away for like Shalimar and things like that. But then I was like, isn't going to fit. And then I was like, well, Samsara then. Why not that? Like that'll work. And I know they're different perfumes, but they sort of. I wanted a kind of spicy classic Guerlain, basically, and so that one fit the bill.
Did you have? I mean, just out of interest, did you both have many Guerlain on your list? On your final list?
That's the only one.
I've got
interesting.
one more.
Yeah, I mean, I so whenever I do these things, I always try and kind of limit it to one perfume per house. It sort of makes it a little bit more interesting sometimes. But I think certainly when you're looking at the 80s, you could probably just reel off a whole load of Guerlains and obviously I've got a Guerlain there as well. See if you can guess which one.
I think I know what yours
is. It is.
Yeah.
Guerlain Derby, and I mean, I just think it's sort of. My love of that perfume is extremely well documented. So I'm not going to sort of drone on about that one a whole bunch more. But the other one I chose was Puig Sybaris, which is a sort of sandalwoody type affair, and. The reason for this, I can't remember whether I even shared this. I feel like I must have shared it at some point, but who knows? Once you've done about 70 episodes, then if you start repeating yourself, hopefully no one notices. But when I was 13, I had my bar mitzvah. As most Jewish boys do, and my uncle owned a pharmacy, and he sent me two gifts. He sent me a bottle of Quorum and a bottle of Sybaris, and I can directly sort of trace my sort of initial interest in fragrance to being aged 13, which for anyone keeping count would have been 1989, I think. So yeah, just squeaking in at the end of the 80s. But the perfume obviously is slightly older than that. But for me, the 80s fragrance was Sybaris, and I remember smelling it and thinking how fucking grown up it smelled. Like this, I smell like a man, real man biz. And so I actually. Both the Quorum and the Sybaris are perfumes that I've then sort of subsequently sought out, and so I've got like an original bottle of each of them, which I had to pay through the fucking nose for on eBay and stuff. But I love them. So my two are Sybaris and Derby.
It's an Alberto Morillas.
It is, yeah.
Isn't it?
Back when he did good shit.
I was going to say that was really the big sort of like 80s and 90s was when he was at his height, and the stuff that he was doing was amazing. Go
on, Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, I just think that's a really interesting distinction, actually. Something you said there I thought is quite interesting and could, potentially be as deep of a subject as you want it to be. But like you said, you smelt like a man, as a teenager, as 13-year-old, and I think the 80s had lots of perfumes like that, right? They were very like manly, masculine fragrances. Whereas when you I'm like only a few years younger than you, and yet my 13, 14-year-old perfumes were CK1 and things like that. And to me, that was like smelling like an adult, because kids smell like Lynx, but adults smell like Calvin Klein or whatever. But you compare the fragrances, and to say like classically in air quotes like now I smell like a man, like I mean CK1 was never about that, was it? It was about now I smell like a gender,
like a gender neutral adult, and I can flow however.
Yeah, I just find that an interesting, interesting cultural concept. Like growing up, how growing up at a certain era or decade or even like 5-year range might shape your entire perception of something. But anyway, did you pick albums for the decades? Because I did.
Well, I know that Fliss didn't want to do it because she just.
Oh God! It's just. Well, doing this was stressful enough. I can't tell you how I agonised over my list to then pick albums as well. I was not have time for this
I did. I picked albums again, not necessarily the greatest, but the things that were for me evocative of the era. And incidentally, I really struggled with 2020s because I thought, fuck, all the music I know like predates this decade by some distance. But I chose Paul Simon's Graceland, which incidentally
Oh, that's a fucking amazing
I'm having
album.
the album cover tattooed on me, actually, because, yeah.
No way.
And so, for me, special sort of thing. God, no, it's another personal anecdote. How boring. Well,
I love it. Tell me.
So my grandparents on my dad's side lived in Germany when we were kids, and my dad was, as well as being an economist, he was a notorious tight arse. So we would drive to Germany to visit them, taking whichever was the cheapest mode of transport across the water. And I have just an abiding memory of listening in the car to Paul Simon's Graceland pretty well on repeat for days at a time, and the whole album is seared, completely seared into my kind of into my brain, into my memory, and to the extent that I know almost every lyric word for word, even when I don't listen to it for months at a time. And I was just idly reading about the story behind the cover art and what it was meant to mean, which I won't bother relaying now. But I looked at it, I thought, do you know what? That would make a great tattoo. And so that's it. I sort of shared it with my tattoo artist. I said, is there something shit about having this tattooed? And she was like, there is nothing shit about that, my friend. So yeah, that's...
No, I'm totally support you, and your discussion of the travelling. I went after university, so I didn't listen to it in the 80s, but when I went travelling after university, I took a Walkman to India, and I allowed myself 6 tapes to take for the 6 months that I was there. And one of them was
Graceland.
Yeah, one of them was Graceland. And I just remember on these long bus journeys up and down India, just listening to Graceland on repeat until it stretched, and it got to the point where it stretched. But like you, I know every single word, and I associate it with travelling and moving places, and there's something about the beat of it that has a real movement.
I was either going to get the album cover or just "Who Am I to Blow Against the Wind" tattooed on me. But anyway, so I went getting the album cover. What album did you pick then, Ben?
Oh, anything near as like depth as that. I picked Sonic Youth Sister, just because it's like a gnarly record.
Dude.
As far as Sonic Youth goes, it was right in the peak when they were like just hitting like a kind of mainstream vibe, but they were still really out there. And it's a great album, and I've actually got that tattooed on myself.
Have you?
Yeah, on my wrist. It's from the middle of the record, and I scribbled it on a bit of paper and showed the tattoo artist, and he was like, do you want it that scribbly? And I was like, no, yeah, it's meant to look shit. It's meant to look like that. And he was like, okay. He was like, but I've got to charge you a minimum. And I was like, that's fine. Just scribble it.
There's a studio minimum. Fuck it. Just write that shit, bro. Yeah, nice. Okay. Fliss, if at any point you can remember what the other 5 cassettes were, I'd love to know what they were, actually. But I won't put you on the spot right now. Okay, well, let's move along. Shall we... I don't know whether to do it in a linear fashion or fuck it, yeah, let's just be boring. Yeah, just be boring and do it in a linear fashion. Right, so 90s, we're moving on up. Quite literally moving on up. 97, I suppose, was Labour landslide, wasn't it? So, things definitely changed in the 90s. I came of age, so to speak. Rave culture. I got heavily into fucking taking amphetamine and ecstasy and
DJ Slipmat.
Yes, all of that shit. Raving my absolute tits off.
Helter Skelter.
So that, and I also went to university that period. I did my A-levels. I quit any form of exercise that would have helped, and sort of basically only went back to it about 20 years later. Just thinking, also I got very unwell in the very early 90s. When I was 15, I was hospitalised for several weeks with meningitis.
A friend of mine had that.
Yeah, I was...
Fucks him up. He had a year off school.
Yeah, I had quite a while off school. I was quite fucked up. And I remember it was they put me in a coma. And I woke up after about 3 days. It was the only time before or since that I ever saw my dad without having had a shave. Because he was from the generation who shaved every day, and he'd basically just been at the hospital for 3 days and sat there. And I distinctly remember that, like waking up and thinking, why is Dad not shaved? Because I had no idea what was going on. So I don't know why I'm sharing so much personal shit this evening. No,
it's nice though. I like this. I think it's well, that's what
oh, good.
Anyway. What did you choose? What did you choose?
I can't remember. What did I choose? I chose Balenciaga Pour Homme and Egoiste. Chanel Egoiste, because Chanel Egoiste was. I'd go down to Boots and rob the little testers and stuff of Egoiste. I just wanted to smell of that. I saw the advert for it, and I don't know, that thing just sort of, it just fused some sort of synapses somewhere in my head, and it was like, yep, this is what you want to smell of now. And when I smell my bottle of the Eau Concentrate, it still just trips me out, and I'm 16 again. It's fucking magic stuff. And the Balenciaga, because fuck it, why not? I mean, I'm on a desert island. I want to smell like an absolute boss. It doesn't matter if it's really strong, which it is. I spray that shit with abandon. And I'll just give you my album, because why not? But my album was A Tribe Called Quest, People's Instinctive Travels, which just... I'd never heard anything like it. When I heard that album, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is mental. This is brilliant. That was like a seminal album. And I could have picked any number of albums, because that was sort of obviously the time, I think, when age 16 to let's say early 20s, I think that's where most people form their musical sort of lore, so to speak.
Well, you're so we're of a similar age-ish. I'm a little bit younger than you, but not much. And if you think coming of age in the 90s, you could probably have said this about any decade, but specifically what I remember in the 90s, the gamut of stuff. You go from literally happy hardcore jungle to hip hop to grunge to Britpop.
Yeah, exactly.
All in 5 years.
And the all throughout
punk,
it, you had the boy bands and the fucking, the one thing that died really in the 90s was stuff like, what did you call it? The glam metal. That whole glam thing, because that was really an 80s thing, and that died a fucking horrible death. That was sort of usurped by grunge, but there was so much going on, and I could have, those 10 albums type challenges. I could have picked anything. I could pick fucking, something heavy metal. I could have picked fucking, I don't know, Sacha and Digweed. In fact, I did write down Sacha and Digweed as a thing. It could have been anything because it was just...
Kruder and Dorfmeister, that was another classic electro album.
Love that.
Oh my God, yeah.
So there was just too much going on. And it was an age where I sort of slipped, I guess... So I must have been 14 or 15 at the start of the 90s and then 24, 25 at the end, which is like, you know, so many of your formative years are tied up in that sort of space. So picking the perfumes was tricky, but again, I could have picked something like... oh, shit, I can't even remember it because I didn't bother writing it down. The one Fliss that you always... Sorry, I'm babbling here. Cacharel. The Cacharel.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Cacharel.
I could have picked that. I wore that quite a lot.
That to me smells like what a man smells like.
I know.
I'm just... Yeah, my dad used to smell of it, and he bought me a little bottle home from a business trip once, and I used to wear it as well, and I find it incredibly comforting. I think that's a phenomenal choice.
Well, I didn't choose it, but it's a phenomenal
that's an honourable mention.
Yeah. So Fliss, what did you have for your 90s?
I picked Féminité du Bois by Shiseido Sheldrake. This was my very first signature scent, really, that I properly chose for myself as opposed to like an auntie buying it for me for Christmas or something. I used to wear Trésor and stuff like that as well, but they were all gifts. Féminité du Bois was... I used to walk home from school during fifth form and sixth form from my school to the station. It was about a half-hour walk through the city centre. And I used to stop off at Debenhams, and Debenhams had all these concessions, and Shiseido was one of the concessions, and I used to walk through sniffing things. And I remember sniffing Féminité du Bois, and my entire stomach and my entire body just going, fuck me, this is different. This is so obviously different to what any of the other girls are wearing, and it stuck with me as something really sexy and sensual and plummy and woody. And I used to save up for it and buy it full price because there was no other way of buying it. And the lady used to give me samples because she knew I loved it so much, and obviously I was a student, and she was just obsessed with the idea that I loved it so much. We used to like, you know, whatever. And that was, for me, that's the smell of the 90s for me, really. That was the big thing that I was wearing the most of. And then I also chose... This is complicated. Either Premier Figure by L'Artisan Parfumeur or Philosophos by Diptyque. And I say or, but they were both created by Olivier Jacobetti. And I think she did Philosophos first in 1994 and Premier Figure in 1994 and Philosophos in 1996. And they're both... She riffs herself. They're so close. It's almost impossible to tell the difference. But I think I might go for Premier Figure because it's just a bit fruitier. The Philosophos is woodier, and I've got the Féminité woody. So this is my fig choice for my collection, because I don't think I could have a collection without a fig.
Jesus Christ.
So I chose.
I mean, I sort of... I am constantly... in awe of your ability to prepare for these things. Like I know like James tends to like just do no preparation whatsoever.
But he doesn't need to prepare, whereas I feel as if I have
James
to.
is like at the one end of the spectrum. I'll just fucking freestyle it. I think Ben and I tend to think about it for a few minutes in the background, maybe, you know, in the day or so before we record. You seem to spend, you know, hours like taking it really seriously and preparing the absolute shit out of it.
I do take it really seriously.
I love that. Right.
Well, you know, if you don't have an annoying little geek in the group...
Well, yes. What is the point? What is the point? I don't suppose you can remember any of the other 5 cassettes you had, can you?
And where...
I had Handel's Water Music and the Firework Music. I know that sounds like a really...
Yeah, wow. Yeah, fucking nerd.
I know. And I also had a bunch... I had a Bach
mixtape.
None of those were from the 90s, were they? Bach mixtape.
Oh, unless you mean Sebastian Bach's Skid Row. which I don't think is. But in fact, that probably wasn't the 90s either.
No. But if I had to choose an album for the 90s, I'd probably choose Jagged Little Pill.
Oh, nice.
Just had a repress this week on vinyl and I was going to get it, but I was like, I don't...
I think I probably know all the words to that all the way through, but I don't need to listen to it. Oh, another one I took to India was Fast Car.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, nice. Did you see Alanis Morissette at Glastonbury?
I didn't, but apparently the reviews were amazing. I read those reviews.
She was fucking incredible. She's still got it for sure. Like, absolutely mental. Not like last year where it was like Axl Rose, who's just like completely past it. There was a headline, I think it was like the Telegraph or something, but it said "Welcome to the Mumble." It's just fucking brutal assessment. Okay, Ben, your 90s.
So all right, 2 Calvin Klein Eternity, naturally, because when I was like say 13, 14, friend of mine, his mum worked in a pharmacy and he had a job there after school, like sorting pills or whatever.
Sorting pills? Sort out these pills.
I'd pop in just to say hello or whatever on my paper round, and I'd always like, I don't know why, but it was a bit of a shit pharmacy, so they didn't have like all of the up-to-date stuff, but they had like Calvin Klein Eternity for some reason, but they didn't have CK1 or anything like that, but they had CK Eternity, and I just loved it, and I ended up buying a big splash bottle of it, and I didn't really know what the fuck, how to use it or anything. I'd pour it all over my hands and then just slap it all over my neck and be like, that'll do. But I loved it, I wore that splash for like the whole 90s really, and actually I bought the parfum a little while ago and it's still good. I still like it.
Is that one of those ones where it's worth seeking out a vintage, original bottle, or is the stuff on the shelf these days just as good? Because it didn't have like a lot of, I don't know, restricted materials or anything in, did it?
I don't remember it super well, but when I bought the parfum, like a bit more recently, a couple of years back or whatever, it ticked all like the things that I remember. Like I smelled it and thought, yes, this is the smell that I've always remembered. Now, if I had them side by side, I might be wrong, but it obviously is close enough that, say, when I smelled it, I was like, yep, this is the smell I remember. This is the 90s. Great. So I don't think it's really worth it, but I may be wrong. I haven't got them side by side to compare. Annoyingly, I should probably still have got like half a bottle of that splash somewhere, but it would be like buried at my parents' somewhere in the middle of like all the other junk that are stored in their loft or whatever. But
all the shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that was my first. So that's again a bit more of a nostalgia thing. And my second, which is more just because it's a fucking brilliant scent and it would fit as a collection, like it would nail the amber slot. Serge Lutton Ombre Sultan.
Nice.
Just for like a spicy amber. If you're going to take an amber, I figured nails
it is like spicy.
Right there. Spicy, ambery.
I love the fact that you have got like, Fliss has got a fig slot and you've got an amber slot, and like, I did not think about it in those terms at all. I was just like, yep, what's a bit of nostalgia for me? Nice.
I mean, album-wise, I could have agonised over this for hours, but I decided not to do that and just not to even think about albums that I like or whatever, but just the first album that always come to mind when I think of the 90s. And I don't know why. It's like one of those, you get those funny memories and they just seem to...
Is it the Venga Boys?
It's not, but it's like that, but better slightly. I would say the Lightning Seeds Jollification is the album. Nice. But the reason is because I don't know why, but when I think summer 90s, I always think of that because I remember being in the back of my parents' car. We were going out, it was summer holidays from school. I must have been like 14, 15, and we were going somewhere, I don't even know where, but we were driving along the coast and going around this roundabout, and all I can remember is the Lightning Seeds being on the radio. And now for me, that is the whole 90s. Whenever I think 90s, that album always comes to mind. So yeah, I've gone for that. Lightning Seeds Jollification.
Nice. What was he called? It was Ian Brody, wasn't it?
Ian Brody, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I sort of there's something about getting a bit older, I think, that makes you revisit stuff or see things through a slightly different lens. So the Lightning Seeds, and another example for me is actually probably Fleetwood Mac, is just stuff that I didn't like when I was younger, but you know, in more recent years, as I've become more of a dad, you know, I've sort of appreciated, you know, certain stuff
man. I
more.
listen to stuff now that I would, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have been embarrassed to listen to, and be like, oh, I can't possibly listen to that. So, a perfect example, Cyndi Lauper, isn't this, what's it called, She's So Strange or whatever, by Cyndi Lauper. That album is fucking incredible album, but I would have just thought, like 10 years ago, Cyndi Lauper,
no,
like, time after time, fuck that shit.
People are going to think I'm a right dickhead.
Yeah, but it's an incredible album. I think you definitely do that. You can look at things a bit more objectively. I think maybe because time's separated or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so we're motoring on. We're going the 2000s. What were you doing in the 2000s, Ben?
It was a massive hangover decade. It was like, because I was sort of like 18 and 99 and like smashing it, like festivals, things like that. And then it got to the early 2000s and it all just felt like a massive hangover for like 10 years. And that went with everything. But I was doing quite a lot still. I was like the height of like, I was DJing like 4 nights a week around Brighton, like drum and bass and indie. So like really weird things.
Hybrid.
Like
DJ hybrid.
Yeah, well, so one night, I would like Tuesday nights at the Escape, I did indie music, and Thursday nights at the Pav Tav, I did indie music, and then I did drum and bass like randomly at other places and stuff. I remember playing the Beach and the Funky Buddha Lounge. Like, it's really hard drum and bass. I was really into like dark hardstyle.
Yeah,
like,
that does not surprise me. What was your DJ name?
Oh, I didn't have it. It was just Ben.
Just Ben.
I wasn't that good of a DJ. I was like, you know, the warm-up DJ or whatever. But and doing a lot of that and going to like Legends of the Dark Black and dancing to like fucking Bad Company and all that kind of stuff, like drum and bass. We used to ride my bike there because at 4 o'clock in the morning when it kicked out. But get this, my bike was a chopper, a rally chopper. And so it would kick out at like 4 in the morning and I'd ride my rally chopper home, like fucking chewing my face off, like, yeah!
Get some.
But,
Brilliant. Brilliant. So were you gainfully employed?
But it was definitely a bit of a hangover.
Were you gainfully employed through the 2000s?
No, was I fuck? I went to university and then I got a job. My only job I've ever had was in an office doing calling up, selling mobile phone contracts. I had it for about 2 months. The first month was like the training month, and the second month I got sacked for being late 3 times. And when he sacked me, it was my sister's friend, and he was like the supervisor, and he took me into his office and he was like, I'm really sorry because, like, you know, obviously I know your family and stuff, but I've got to let you go. And I was like, it's fine, I hate this job, see you later. I was like, do you want me to work the rest of the day? Can I just go? And he was like, you can just go. And I was like, brilliant, see you later. And I went home and I said to my mum, like, I got sacked. And she was like, at least you tried. And I was like, yeah. And I've never had a job since.
Didn't really?
I've never had a job since. Like, I've worked purely self-employed ever since.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah, then I did. So I was sort of employed. Yeah, I was self-employed in 2000s, but making websites mainly.
You were basically Nathan Barley, weren't you? So
not far different.
No. Okay, give me your 2 perfumes for the 2000s.
All right, Hermes and Jardin Solennil. It's my favourite Jardin. It's great. If you're going to a tropical island, you need something fruity, light. It's gorgeous. I still wear it. You twats constantly.
Have well overthought this. I could get away with that, yeah.
And so, I picked that just because it's such a great, fruity, summery, bright perfume. And I just love it. I just love it to bits. In fact, I probably would have picked it no matter where I was going, even if I was going to, like, I don't know, Mordor or something. I would take it. And then the second perfume I picked was L'Artisan Parfumeur Bois Farine, which is a cosy one for me. Nice. And it's Jean-Claude Eleanor. And it smells like sort of like weird. He said he's supposed to make it after a certain like peanut tree or something, but it smells like
peanut
flour.
tree.
It smells almost like bread dough.
Right.
It's got a sort of weird peanutty, yeasty, sort of floury vibe to it. Very like textural, dry, floury texture to it. Not floury as in garden flour. Flowers in like white bread flour.
Okay. Yeah.
Very strange, very dry. Like you smell it and it smells dry. It's one of the weirdest perfumes I think I own. But it's great and it's really comforting and it's really soft, and that's my sort of soft skin scent. My soft, comfortable skin scent for the collection. That was
nice.
Yeah.
I chose for that. Yeah. You have both put way more thought into this than me. All I did was pick some perfumes. Well, this is my skin scent one. This is the spicy amber, fig one. Too much. Okay, Fliss, what were you doing with yourself in the 2000s? This was your I'm no longer a nerd phase, wasn't
it? I was getting towards it. I didn't really have that until I was in my 30s, unfortunately. It took me a long while to grow out of it. In the 2000s, I was at university. So I was totally nerding out at university, and then I started a PhD that fell through, and I worked for a little bit at a investment bank trying to work out what to do, and then I basically just left everything and joined the circus and became an actor. And so there was a lot of transitions, and I was getting towards not becoming a nerd, but I was still being a bit of a nerd. The perfumes I've picked I wasn't wearing during that time, but they are so
in fairness, I was not wearing Derby in the 80s either, but we'll let that go.
Cool. We'll let that go. I needed a vanilla in my collection.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. You and your fucking structural approach to this shit. Yeah.
I know, sorry. So I picked Eau de Shalimar because it's a lovely, creamy, it's almost like an ice cream
second
vanilla.
Guerlain.
But the Shalimar base... Yeah, it's my second Guerlain, but the Shalimar base just gives it enough smoke and... bit of benzoin. It's got enough of a base for it not to be like a full-on gourmand, and I love it in the summer. And there's a lovely limey note to it as well. It's the best Shalimar flanker, I think. I really love it. I've got 2 bottles.
Nice,
because I love it so much and I wear it a lot. Yeah. And then I also needed a rose, and because I can't have a collection without a rose, and I picked Paul Smith rose because I think it's just a banging, phenomenal rose. It used to be really cheap, and it is no longer
is it not?
So. I got mine for 15 quid for 100ml, and if you look it up on eBay now, it is not that. So I think all the discounters have. They've shed all their stock. It's all gone. Yeah, it goes for quite a lot now. But
sweet.
That is my. And I mean, at the time, I wasn't listening to anything that was really created in the 2000s either. I was listening to a lot of old Black Crowes, James Taylor, bits of Nick Cave and Neil Young, but some of the earlier albums, Big Star, stuff like that, quite hippie-ish. Cake. If I was going to pick an album, I would pick Cake, Comfort Eagle, because I know all the lyrics to that as well. Or something by Jamiroquai, because even though I wasn't smoking weed, I was going to a lot of parties where people were, and that just reminds me of sitting in gardens in the summer holidays. Everyone else was smoking weed, and I was like, "Oh no, thank you. I don't want to get to white. I'm just going to
hang out with people who smoke weed."
And this Jamiroquai.
3 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
3 years later, I was doing everything else from the bars. That would be the least of it. Anyway, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
my album, by the way, is called Burial, Untrue.
I don't know that.
Burial. Oh, come on.
No.
You need to
really?
go and listen to it after this. Yes.
James sent me some music the other day on Instagram. I think it was the Snots or something, which I hadn't
This
heard.
is like really sparse dubstep, like really textural,
Burial,
quiet. Burial, Untrue. Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a good album. Like, don't think it's incredible. It's a masterpiece.
Okay.
Complete masterpiece.
Well, I will start with my 2000s album, which was Coral Fang by the Distillers. I love Brody Dale, and I loved that Coral Fang album. So I've got it's the only band T-shirt that I own is the Coral Fang album. I have a big poster of it, and it's just, there's something for me that was very much my most played album of that decade, I would say. Anyway, the perfumes I chose were Terre d'Hermès, because I wore it a lot, and it's a fucking great perfume. Good. You can't argue with Terre d'Hermès. It's brilliant. And Moss Bretches, which obviously at the time I'd never heard of, but with the benefit of many years of perfume enthusiasm in the bank, Moss Bretches, definitely. If I could go back in time, I know there's those Aventus bros who like, dude, if I could go, I don't know why they're American, that's unfair. It'd be like, dude, if I could go, if I could go back through time, what would you do? Well, I'd go back and buy like 100 bottles of the first batch of Aventus. And I'm like, okay, no, fucking wanker. However, if I could go back in time and buy all the stock of one particular perfume, I think it would be Moss Bretches, because I think it's a remarkable perfume. And I think I don't really understand why it was discontinued. I assume because either sales were shit, which seems weird given how good it was, or because they just couldn't make it, either because of regulations or they couldn't get hold of the ingredients or something. I don't know.
Or it's too
possibly
expensive.
Either way.
In order to reformulate it to a decent amount of affordability, it was so beyond what they could afford or what they wished to afford.
Such a sort of disappointment, really. I think that was one of the greats. So those were my two perfumes and my album. But I think generally the 2000s seemed like a pretty busy decade for designer releases and stuff. There was a lot going on. But the 2010s, So 2010, fuck it, I'll just keep going, because I'll give you my perfumes and my album. But I will just say, we got to the 2010s and I started really thinking about it a bit more, because I had some also rans, I had some other choices. And this was not me trying to create a perfume, capsule kind of collection or anything. I was just thinking about what are the things that I would want to sort of smell of that would evoke that time period. And so I considered Ombre Nomad. I considered Roger Dove Enigma. But what I settled on was Aventus. I know it's boring. Blah 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 blah. But it very much does just conjure up that decade for me, and Dior Vetiver, because I think every collection needs a Vetiver, notwithstanding the fact I already had Terre d'Hermès.
I was going to say, but you've got two Vetivers. Do you feel they're distinct enough to be on the desert island?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool.
I think they're quite different.
Yeah.
I mean, Terre d'Hermès is much muskier and darker, isn't it, than Dior Vetiver, which is quite
the Dior's
presentable and light.
The Dior is, I think, a little bit lighter. It's less sort of aggressive. It also has a kind of coffee aspect to it, which is very suave. I think Dior Vetiver to me is the sort of epitome of masculine. It is quite masculine, but masculine, sort of suave, sophisticated fragrance. It's the kind of perfume that, if you went to a business meeting wearing a suit and smelling of that, people would say, this is a serious person, right? Because it's a serious fragrance. Whereas I think Terre d'Hermès, there's something much edgier about it. And there's a sort of clash in Terre d'Hermès. There's this clash between the kind of the orange, the sort of dried orangey sort of fruitiness, and the quite growly vetiver to it. I think James uses the word flinty, which I think is a great... James is full of great words, isn't he? Yeah. But he described it as flinty, and I think that's brilliant because it really does capture what the smell's about. So, yeah, I'm happy that they're sufficiently differentiated. And the album I chose was just completely at random, which is by Ezra Furman, and it's called The Day of the Dog, which is one of my favourite albums. I wouldn't say it's top 10 or anything, but very much enjoy that. So that was me. Ben, why not you?
Okay, I hate myself for this.
Okay.
But you almost put it on yours. Roger, Enigma Parfum pour Homme. I put that on.
Good.
It's so fucking good.
I love the fact that
again the other day.
I love the fact that you love that, and I love the fact that. So don't take this as a criticism, right? But a guy who's so thoughtful about his personal style and stuff, and a brand like Roger, I think, is entirely incompatible with Ben's personal style. But the fact that you just like, well, fuck it, I love that perfume, so that's what I'm wearing. I love that you love that, if that makes sense.
Oh, well, cool. It's so good. I mean, I had no idea of it until you sent it to me, because I was like, hated Roger. I didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. Like, just the whole thing of it just fucked me off.
It's sort of very anti-Ben in its styling, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's so good. It was one of the easiest picks on here.
Really?
It's going on there because it's just so good. I love it. I love it to bits. Yeah, I think it's excellent. So I picked that one. The other one, almost a complete other end of the scale, was Francesca Bianchi, The Lover's Tale, which is, foulsome, amber, spicy beast thing, like leathery, hideous leather that lasts for days. But I figured I don't often get a chance to wear it because it's just so tenacious. But if I'm going to a desert island, it'll be fine because there's no one there. So I wear that as much as I like.
Nice.
So yeah, those were my two: Francesca Bianchi, Love's Tale, and Enigma Parfum pour Homme.
Beautiful. Yeah. And did you pick any albums?
Was Avishai Cohen, Into the Darkness, which is a jazz album.
I have never heard of Avishai Cohen.
He's a genius trumpeter, jazz musician, and that album got me into jazz. All up until that point, a bit like the Rodgers, I was like, jazz, fuck that shit. But
jazz?
I heard that.
Twats.
Yeah, I heard that and I went deep into a jazz hole that I've never climbed out of, really.
Jazz hole?
Yeah. That
sounds faintly smutty, Ben, a jazz hole. I'm sure if James was here, he would be... he would
climb down Avishai Cohen's jazz hole, yeah.
Exactly. Very nice. Okay, well, I'm going to have to check out some of the album recommends here now, aren't I? But, Fliss, what is on your 2010s list?
Well, this was the hardest for me.
Oh, really?
I discovered that I love, and I've got a load of perfume in my collection for the 2010s. It was just impossible to choose. And I didn't get to choose Sheep Palatin from 2012. I didn't get to choose Nuit Andalouse by MDCI. I didn't get to choose Ninfeo Mio by Goutel. I didn't choose Marbet by Eris. I didn't choose Nightingale Zoologist, Missia by Chanel, Oud Santal by Cartier, Galop de Hermes, all 31 Rue de Cambon, all Mystic Incense, all Elizabethan Rose. And
can I just
of those
check?
are all from 2016. And 2016, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from 2016 that I was just like, oh my God, this is the best year of perfume ever.
Can I just check you've understood this? You have to list the 2 perfumes you want, not the 28,000 perfumes that you don't want.
Well, those were the ones that were just on my list. I was just like, So I had to just pull it back.
You know that when you do that, when you sort of list all the ones, you go, well, I didn't put this, and I didn't put this, and I didn't put that. What you're really doing is you're just smuggling more in there. I mean,
yeah, I know. That's how exciting!
These are the ones I wanted. Yeah,
that's how you get more points in an exam. You show your workings.
Yeah, very good.
But like the 2010s is like if you're picking decades, like the 2010s was when that kind of explosion of like niche happened. Really, I mean, but obviously you had niche before that with Serge Lutens and La Parfumeur and things like that. But the 2010s to the 2020s,
it just went.
It was just this huge, massive, and there's just so much to choose from, isn't there? I think it was probably the hardest for me to choose from as well. Apart from the Roger and Enigma, that was always going. But the second slot could have been one of hundreds.
So the only way for me to do it was to go back to this collection and have this coherent collection. One of the things I needed in my coherent collection was a good patchouli, and so I chose Mon Parfum Chéri par Camille by Goutal, which is 2011. The other thing I needed on my list was a really big floral. And for ages, I had Figment Woman Amouage on there. And then I remembered at the last minute, literally 10 minutes before we recorded, because I was taking them from my collection, and I suddenly realised I don't have to have them in my collection.
No.
So obviously I chose Dentel Au Coeur.
Nice.
Henri Jacques. If I'm going to a desert island and, just shower me with Dentel Au Coeur. Come on, Henri.
Yeah, come on, Henri. Gives that. I love that you love that as well. I think again, it's like the idea of kind of Henri Jacques as a perfume house, I think, just seems to me to be like the kind of stuff that would just make you roll your eyes normally. It's like, oh yeah, don't be a twat. You can't just charge £1,000 a bottle to make people think it's good. What a load of shit. And then it's like, oh my God, it really is good.
Really fucking is so good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, cool. Did you want to make any music suggestions? I know you had...
Well, you'll probably roll your eyes, but...
I doubt it.
Well, I was... during the 2000s, I went to LA to... the 2010s, rather, I went to LA to do, try and do something in acting, and it didn't really work out. But I did a lot of driving, and when I was driving, I listened to Mumford & Sons a lot, and also the Wombats.
The Wombats.
They're both probably a bit naff.
Well, no, the Wombats
I have very happy memories of
the Mumford & Sons. Didn't they recently get cancelled? One of them said some mad shit about immigrants or something. Fucking wild.
Yeah, but I mean, at the time that... And although that Say No More, I think, came out in 2019.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I wasn't listening to it until, say, 2000 and whatever.
Whatevers.
20, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they're not cool albums. They're just things I associate with what I was doing.
The Wombats have a track called Tokyo. Which I absolutely love, and it's one of mine and my daughter's sing-along tracks in the car, so we do that. Because I'm such an extremely cool dad that I make her sing along to cheesy music, so there you go. Right, final decade, our current one. Trickier. I found this trickier. I briefly contemplated going biche on this because I think people will look back on this decade and Biche's paw prints will be all over it, as one of the sort of most influential perfumers and his influential palette of ingredients. But I think the reality is I don't like most of them, so I didn't bother. So I chose actually a second Guerlain, Neroli Plain Soude, which is one that I've been wearing recently, and I fucking love it. It's so good. It's the one with the turmeric. Oh, how do you pronounce that? Is it turmeric or is it turmeric?
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
don't give a shit. Well, whatever. It's that one. I mentioned it, I think, previous week, or maybe even I mentioned it in the first half of this episode. But given that we recorded that so long and can't fucking remember. But yeah, it's got a turmeric note in it, which just gives it this really weird, spicy sort of yellowy twist. I fucking love that at the moment. So I chose that, and I chose Louis Vuitton Imagination. And I didn't even bother choosing an album because I can't think of any albums that have been released in the last 5 years that have actually entered my consciousness. So there you go. That was an easy one. Easy on the music front. Fliss, what about you for this current decade? Have you actually managed to find perfumes?
Yeah, I have actually. And again, I found it really hard because this is where like most of my kind of more niche artisan stuff starts coming out, and things that didn't make it were Playa Linda by Chronotope. I wear it a lot. Paddock by Hermes, which I adore, really, really like. And it was hard because I didn't end up with an animalic, and it was so hard not to end up with an animalic, but that was close. And also Eau de Vermeil by Karen Timson, which was released this year, which is a lovely, fresh, aromatic, almost cologne-y thing, which I really, really like. And again, I didn't end up with a cologne on my list. What I did choose was a very green thing, because this is the only slot I had for green, but I am wearing a lot of Verdant by Eau de Bougie at the moment. And so I think that this list, when it got to this decade, it was really influenced by what I'm wearing most of this new stuff. And Verdant, I'm wearing for the last couple of years, I've been wearing it a lot. Just
a side note, I particularly like the word verdant.
It's lush, isn't it?
It's very, yes, exactly. It's lush, isn't it? And it very much sort of it conjures up countryside and greenness and England's green and pleasant land, etc., etc. So
verdant is really more neon, and it's meant to be lush green in the city, and it feels dewy, but there is a metallic-y kind of feel, a slightly wet concrete feel, which feels really modern for me, and it's really surprised me how much I love wearing it. There's a melon feel to the top as well, and it feels incredibly modern and clean, and it's not something that when I first smelled I thought I would really go for, but it does seem to fit me, and when I wear it I get so many compliments, it's ridiculous. And
so it's weird, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember like when I smelt it in the shop, and I saw it in the name, and it's called Verdant, and it's in a green bottle as well, and I just thought, like, this is going to be like a big green thing, and I'm not going to like that, because anything too green is sort of a bit of a put off for me, but it's not at all, is it? I didn't really think it matched the name.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does, but I think it's very much more that dewy, or even like a gardener's
There's so much
pipe,
more to it,
or a big rainstorm. It's very much more than just green. It's not herbaceous green. It's a bright green. It's a waxy bright green. And then I chose my comfort frag, which I am now on I think I'm on my third bottle, Belém by Les Abstraits.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, just a lovely cocoa, fatty, comforting iris, and I wear it so often to bed. I wear it when I want a good night's sleep. It's my let's go and have a nice sleep perfume. And I just barrel through it. I think it's phenomenal, and I couldn't physically imagine being on a desert island and not having a bottle. That was kind of one of my, when I did the collection, there were things like, I cannot imagine living without this perfume, and Belém was one of them. Yeah, I adore it. It's
nice. Yeah, it is nice. Just thinking about that. What's the similar one? There's a similar one from Les Indémodables. Is it the? Oh God.
Oh, I don't know. Is it the? Did they do an iris one as well? I find it quite similar in a way to Melt My Heart, that iris and the cocoa, or cacao rather.
Cacao.
Grono. Yeah, I find it quite similar to Melt My Heart, but I find the Belém easier to wear, or I just wear it more regularly. But I wear them both, but the Bel M for me is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, right, nice. Okay, good. Ben?
I chose Amouage Interlude Black Iris for my first one, which I think still is better than the original Interlude, and it's easier to wear, and it's just cool. I like it a lot, so I picked that one. And the second one I chose was Masque Milano Lost Alice, which is a fucking weird perfume, and mostly why I picked
never even heard of it. Lost Alice.
Yeah, so it's based on Alice in Wonderland and like tea parties and stuff, and it's kind of got this weird sort of like tonic milky edge to it, and it's a bit carrot cakey, it's iris, powdery.
Great.
It's wicked, and it's very strange, but it is a gourmand, and I didn't have a gourmand yet, so I thought, well, Bois-Farine you could maybe suggest was a gourmand, but I don't think so. So I figured I needed a gourmand, so I went with Lost Alice over them all. And yeah, it's a wicked fit, but it's really strange. It's not the easiest to like, because it has the opening is a little bit weird with the like kind of milky side of it. I guess it can feel a little bit sour and a bit strange, but it's great. It's like an iris, powdery, milky, but somewhat spicy as well. It has this kind of carrot cake kind of edge to it. It's
Sounds
great, and
nice.
I just love the fact that it's kind of based on like a lot Alice in Wonderland tea party. I like that kind of the story behind it. It's cool.
Nice.
It's an interesting one. And like Masque Milano, they don't really do perfumes that are like run of the mill, do they?
No. They're all quite odd.
Yeah.
So Ben, though, you're not taking a Beaufort with you?
I'm not.
No Beaufort.
I wouldn't.
Even on a desert island?
No. I'm the thing is with Beaufort, right, is I love them, but I very, 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 very rarely wear them because they're so hard to wear.
Yeah.
But
they wear you.
I do love them. Yeah, but I do love them. Like when I do wear them, I get a lot of enjoyment out of them, but it's just so rare.
And also,
you're not taking Oud Infini either.
Not taking Oud Infini or Dior Au Noir.
No, I was going to say no Dior. I don't think there's any Diors in your list, is there?
There's not. I tried to get one in there, but I couldn't settle, so I didn't. No.
Wow.
I know. I wasn't. Yeah. I don't know. I went with things that I thought a bit like Fliss would make a more rounded collection, and stuff that I tried not to agonise over it too much. I tried to just go with like what jumped at my head like straight away, because I thought they're the ones like that obviously like mean something, or I would want, like, rather than that. I love Oud Infini, but like Masque Milano Lost Alice would be much more fun to have on a desert island. I think stuff like that. So I kind of went with that.
I quite like the original premise of bottles that were shaped like things that might have some sort of utility on a desert island. Like, this bottle is shaped like a microwave, and you can put food inside it and it warms it up. And brilliant! Oh, that's very clever. I'm often glad.
You would take a Dior for thumping fish,
anything you needed to kill quickly, you'd whack it with one of those 250. Have you got 250s or 450 bottles?
Only 250 is the biggest I've got.
Those 450 ones are absurd. I think they issue them to police in New York for clubbing people on the street. I'm often glad that when we do these things that it's all just kind of washed away, and we don't really have to take, good news, you don't actually have to go onto a desert island and take it all with you. But look, I've enjoyed the whole Rory game. I think it might be worth at some point trying to fucking pull together a Leso's actual 1920s onward list. I know Fliss has got hers. Fliss, just, have you got it to hand? Are there any things that you might want to shout?
I have it to hand.
Okay. So you didn't prepare properly, did you?
Let me just see. Well, I do actually. So 1970s Aromatics Elixir and Nehema would have been my Rose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then 1960s, Bal Versailles, Azuré, Estée Lauder. 1950s, Diorissimo, Jolie Madame, Balmain. 1940s, Fracas. That would have been my big floral if I'd have been allowed the 1940s. Iri Gris, Fath, 1946.
Ooh.
Which I know. Louis Archie sent me a card dipped in it from the Osmotique, and it is unbelievably stomach-turningly good. 1930s, Taboo Dana, or Dana, I don't know how you say it. 1920s, Shalimar, obviously Habanita.
Hang on,
Chanel number
Taboo.
5.
When? Wait. Go back. Taboo, Dana Taboo. When did that come out?
1930s.
No way! I didn't realise.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a 70s or 80s type perfume.
It's 1930s.
Bloody hell!
Yeah,
it shows what I know, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, keep going.
And then 1910s, Iris de Fath. I've got.
Oh, right. You went all the way back to the.
Oh no! That's Oh no, Iris de Fath is different from Iri Gris. Yeah.
Okay. Which was the one you got a sample of? Iri Gris or Iris de Fath?
The Iri Gris Fath 1946, which is phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah. End of the Second World War. Was it?
Yeah.
46? Yeah, something like that.
And then, Femme de Rochas, or Rochas Femme Parfum from the 1940s as well, would be a really good.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
You really did prepare, didn't you?
Well, I didn't prepare that bottom end as well as I would wanted to, because once I heard we were into the 80s, that's where I put all of my head. But those were like a quick rundown of other things. But yeah. Nice. All the things. Okay, well, any final thoughts about your Desert Island collection? Anything you'd like to change, Ben, based on the discussion we've had hitherto?
No, I'm really happy with it. Like, even after you point out that I didn't have Oud Infinite and all that, and like I would miss them, but they like. But now I think I've got a sufficiently exciting list. I think everything on there I would be interested to wear that at some point. Like, yeah, I think it's all quite interesting stuff. Whereas, like, Oud Infinite's great, but it is a bit one note. Do you know what I mean? And whereas, like, stuff like that is, I think I've got a more interesting list there. So I'm quite happy with it. 2020's music, though, Chemical Brothers, For That Beautiful Feeling, newest Chemical Brothers album.
Oh, is it good?
Banger after banger. Every track on it is a banger.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the fourth track on it is probably one of my favourite Chemical Brothers tracks of all time.
Wow.
It's fucking amazing.
I see. I don't think that anything since like about 2014 has actually registered with my head.
I'm quite similar.
But I'll go and check it out. I'm going to listen back to this episode and just write down your music selections and go and check them out. Fliss, happy with your collection? Anything you'd like to change?
As happy as I can be. I think if you asked me again tomorrow, I'd do a different list.
Well, do you know what?
So hard.
I was thinking about that. This podcast relies on that fact, right? Because if it was always the same list, we'd just be making the same episode every time. Yeah. So, this podcast relies on the fact that your opinion tomorrow will be somewhat different to your opinion today, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. I was kind of gutted I didn't really get a proper animalic in, and I was kind of gutted I didn't really get a nice leather in. But, can't win them all.
Rules of the game.
I can borrow my Francesca Bianchi. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think what's interesting is if the three of us were marooned together, we'd have quite a good collection. I mean, we'd have, I think, every base covered, more or less.
We could start our own buy and sell group.
They would have to be.
Which one of the 8 are you putting up this week?
Yeah, they'd have to just be swaps, though, wouldn't they? Yeah, I suspect my Instagram feed would get very repetitive as well.
Unless one of us got I reckon I'd be fairly useless at hunting for a start, so I'd end up trading my perfumes away for a crab or something.
Crab. Yeah. Can I swap you this crab for you?
One of us would end up as the perfume emperor, and we'd all have to come up to you and be like, "Please, sir,
have some more."
Yeah, good. Well, I like to think that'll be me, but I think the reality is we all know it'll be Fliss. Fliss is good with a sword, so
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think I'm taking one of those, so am I? I just have to... Oh, I know, I could make my own shank out of something, I'm sure.
Oh, take one of the old... I might swap one of the vintage Amouage dagger bottles onto my list, and there you go. You have functional bottle as well as... No, I quite like that idea of a bottle in the shape of a boat so I can sail off the island. Get the fuck, bye! You know?
There is that bottle, isn't there? With the,
I've got one.
He's got it.
Get on that.
I've got... It's a patu. It's like a fucking lesser known patu. Not lesser known. It's the lesser sought after patu. It's called Nautilus or something like that. But it's basically or navigation or something. But it's basically a bottle which is a bit like cool waterish, and it sits in a boat. But obviously the boat is not big enough to sail anywhere. But I do like the idea of functional shaped bottles. I think there's maybe a whole episode in just functional shaped bottles. How did you fix that? We're not
going to talk about Nasomato though, are we?
No.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Well,
what do you mean by functional? Because there's a few over there that I reckon could fit. Yes. Okay. Well, on that revolting bombshell, let's wrap it up. Listen. Thank you everyone for bearing with us. We are Sons James. Hopefully we get him back real fucking soon. In the meantime, we'll be back in a couple of weeks with the next episode of Les Oderants. Bye.
Bye.